Pecco Bagnaia's nightmare at the 2025 Malaysian Grand Prix that just wrapped up with just 3 laps to go until the podium. Engine trouble, and that hope vanishes into thin air. Bagnaia's disappointment and rage plain to see. Let's break it down. But first, make sure you've smashed that like button and subscribed. Flick on notifications too, so you don't miss out on any more news. We've just witnessed a main race that'll go down as one of the most dramatic, ironic, and, especially for Italian fans, the most gut-wrenching of the 2025 MotoGP season. At the Sepang International Circuit, which was meant to be the stage for a comeback after his brilliant sprint race win the day before, cruel fate wrapped its arms tight around Pecco Bagnaia once more. This wasn't just any old defeat. It was a failure to finish that tore apart his hopes, leaving a gaping wound and sparking a torrent of anger and disappointment from Ducatisti the world over. Pecco, starting from pole position with promising form, was forced to swallow a bitter pill when his Desmercedesi GP bike suffered a mysterious and fatal issue. Just 3 laps from the checkered flag, the moment had to pull over, hurling gestures of frustration beside his machine, was the perfect picture of a soul-crushing defeat. This wasn't merely lost points, it was the theft of momentum when he needed it most. On the flip side, Pecco's downfall opened the door wide for BK8 Gresini Racing MotoGP rider Alex Marquez, who put in a phenomenal shift from the off. Alex, who'd already locked in runner-up spot in the final 2025 MotoGP standings the day before, proved his class as a front-runner. He seized the lead from lap 2, capitalising on momentum and consistent pace to dominate proceedings. This victory was a statement of his status, no longer just Marc Marquez's little brother, but a proper Grand Prix winner, tough as nails. He led the bulk of the race, giving his rivals not an inch to close in. Even Pedro Acosta from Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, who rode aggressively to bag second on the podium, had to bow to Alex's superior speed and tyre management. But despite the celebrations in the Gresini camp, all eyes were on Pecco Bagnaia. The frustration was real, plain as day. For a rider who'd been in full control early doors and maintained podium pace throughout, a mechanical failure at the crunch was a hammer blow that's hard to take. Picture it, Pecco had done everything right. Perfect start, fierce battles in the opening laps, then building a steady rhythm in first or second. He fought, he challenged, he showed he could bounce back from a rough patch. Those final 3 laps at Sepang felt like the closing acts in a tragic play scripted by fate itself. As his bike slowed, as he glanced back with a face twisted in disbelief, anger and sadness, millions of fans felt that same shudder of disappointment. We need to dive deeper into the emotions Pecco was grappling with. The sprint race win seemed like sweet bait before the bitter poison. He knew full well how crucial a main race victory here was to end the season on a high. His goal was the podium, even the win, to cement his place among the grid's elite. When that chance was snatched away, not by a riding error or a bold move from a rival, but by a technical gremlin beyond his control, anger was a fair response. It was the rage of a pro who'd given his all, only to be let down by his own steed. Bagnaia specifically highlighted how this failure obliterated the momentum he'd clawed back over the weekend. The sprint race triumph had restored his confidence after some tough rounds. Yesterday's win, sprint race, showed we had the pace, the right setup, and I was back to my best. Today was the proof I needed to take home. I could see the finish line. I was planning how I'd push in the last 2 laps, he explained. But all those plans, all my team's hard graft, wrecked by a failure that shouldn't happen on a factory bike this tight. It feels like a betrayal at the most critical moment. The massive pressure and expectations on Pecco's shoulders only amplified the pain of this setback. With this dud result, his championship position looks even shakier, and his confidence has taken a proper knock. Pecco admitted he had to fight to rein in his emotions, swamped with fury and disbelief. When I had to pull off, I just wanted to chuck my helmet. I'd done everything asked of me. I took risks, I nursed the tyres, I battled. Then you see that warning light flash and the engine goes unresponsive. That's pure rage. We'll take the data home and Ducati needs to give crystal clear answers on why this happened. "I can't race feeling like my bike might pack up any second," he insisted, demanding accountability from the tech crew. Pecco's disappointment went beyond lost points to the psychological hit for the rest of the season. This mechanical meltdown has planted seeds of doubt that could mess with his focus in the final 2 rounds. "We've got 2 races left, and I can't let this wreck my mindset. But honestly, right now, it's hard not to be livid. Alex's win is a good result for Ducati overall, but for me, this is the worst day. It's a painful failure, and I have to find a way to douse this fire of anger and turn it into speed in Portugal. If not, Sepang will haunt me like a ghost till season's end," he concluded, painting a vivid picture of the inner turmoil he's facing. The Sepang saga is a massive irony for Ducati too. On one hand, they're toasting Alex Marquez's win on the Desmosedici GP24, a satellite bike that's once again proved its mettle. On the other, their flagship team, the Spearhead, was brought to its knees by an unforeseen issue. This raises serious questions about factory bike reliability at season's end, questions that'll surely spark a deep probe back at Borgo Panigale HQ. The failure didn't just crush Pecco's spirit, it tarnished Ducati's hard-won image of technical supremacy. In the last 2 rounds of the season, Pecco's disappointment is bound to fuel a burning motivation. But can he channel the Sepang frustration into strength in Portugal and Valencia? Can he master the rage churning inside and redirect it into focus and determination? The Sepang race was a brutal reminder that motorcycle racing is a cruel sport, where fortune can flip in the blink of an eye. Alex Marquez deserves every accolade for his dominant display, but it's the shadow of Pecco's failure that'll linger over the rest of 2025. For Alex Marquez, this was the pinnacle of an extraordinary performance. He didn't just capitalize on rivals' woes, he showed champion mentality by holding his lead under pressure from talented young guns like Pedro Acosta and seasoned pros like Joan Mir, who rounded out the podium in 3rd. Alex displayed maturity, brilliant speed, and race management over 20 laps in Sepang's sweltering, demanding conditions. His victory was the perfect reward for Grassini's hard work and a sweet finale after securing championship runner-up. Now, the question for you, the true fans: if you were Pecco, what would be the first words you'd bellow in the paddock after this brutal failure? Is this pure bad luck? Or is something off with Pecco's mentality amid the drama of this pressure-packed season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's dissect the emotional turmoil at Sepang together.
Welcome to GP Talks. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates.